Washington, Washington, Washington.
Hey, they can't stop us, man.
Go, win on three. 1, 2, 3, win.
As always, it is great to be back here on the Fantasy Forum. Thank you for having me. We have some marquee matchups this week, a few that I'm really looking forward to, a few I really could care less about, but all in all, we got 2 weeks left in the season. We have a few teams that are fighting for their lives, and this is going to be a fun week. We got House of Pain paying a visit to the Bold and the Beautiful. Look for Drew Brees to be the difference this week once again. Bold and the Beautiful have made some great strides this season. It's not going to be enough, though. I really think the House of Pain belongs in the discussion with the elite teams. I think they're in the top 4, top 5 for sure. They're going to prove it this week by getting out a tough win over the scrappy Bold and Beautiful. Mark it down, House of Pain. The Juggernauts paying a visit to the Bellyaching Jamaicans, the self-proclaimed best team in the league. I'm not buying it. I think they're average at best. The stats don't lie. The standings don't lie. The Bellyaching Jamaicans, they're probably going to get a win this week. Get above 500. But all in all, just another lackluster week for a lackluster team, the Bellyaching Jamaicans. Liquored Up Kicker at the Graceland Lulu Birds. Got to go with Liquored Up Kicker here. They're on a little bit of a roll, looking to grab onto that last playoff spot. This is a big step this week. Next week's going to be a big showdown with the guys on Buffaloes with a playoff berth hanging in the balance. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think Andrew Luck's the difference this week. Look for him to score about 28.5 points. Liquored Up Kicker gets the win. It's a good one, sometimes not so good. You know, there's a lot of facets to this rivalry. There's the story of the time that Joe deboarded a plane right before takeoff simply because he couldn't stand Dominic's BO for another second. There's the basketball games. There's the PlayStation 3 dynasties. I remember a lot of those backyard football games scored. There weren't a lot of balls caught. A lot of drop balls, a lot of receivers ducking from passes, a lot of receivers running off the field crying. That all changed one day. A game that we like to call the Rose Bowl. It was high drama. As Dominic said, they drank a lot of beer, Mom. Well, I remember hitting Dominic in the back of the end zone. Hit him right in that chubby belly of his, and he held on for the game-winning touchdown, and that's the day that the tide turned. That was a great day at the Rose Bowl, and Dominic's going to have another one of those great days this weekend. The North of Nowhere Nincompoops get the win and stay alive in the playoff race. Nincompoops. But all in all, these two are great friends and have been great competitors throughout the year. And this week should not be any different. These are two of the more upstanding owners in this league. And they both still have a shot at the playoffs. So this is going to be a fun one. Let's just all sit back and enjoy. The Cowtown Rebels taking on your San Antonio Angry Ants. This is going to be a huge matchup. I got to go with the Cowtown Rebels this week. I don't think Nick Foles is going to really carry the load like he has the last few, but I think Chris Johnson's going to score in the high 30s, maybe get into the 40s, and I think Cowtown Rebels are going to lock up that #1 spot heading into the playoffs. So I'm going with the Cowtown Rebels this week. And in my game of the week, we have the Austin Ackie Men taking on By the Grace of Louisville. This is a big game. The Ackie Men have been pretty much overlooked all season. They've been pretty good. They're ranked number 3 in the power rankings pretty much all season. They're one of the higher scoring teams in the league. But week in and week out, they've had a lot of roster blunders, a lot of points on the bench. They lost 3 in a row in the middle of the year to 3 not-so-great teams. So who are the real Ackie Men? This is the week we find out. Now, I know to be the best, you got to beat the best. And to beat the best, you got to think like the best. Therefore, I had a couple hot dogs for lunch. I'm still working those off. I still got a little heartburn. But the picture's a little clearer. And I think Marshawn Lynch and LaShawn McCoy are going to once again carry the Ackie Men to victory. Carry them into the playoffs. And perhaps a Blood Bowl berth. We'll see. There's going to be a big rematch, hopefully down the road with the Cowtown Rebels. I don't see the Jamaicans being anything more than a speed bump in the road for either of those two teams. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This week, I'm taking the Austin Ackie Men to get the win over By the Grace of Louisville. Austin Ackie Men.